Welcome to Frame by Frame, where we dive deep into the heart of photography and with videography, where we join amazing photographers from all over the world as we find techniques, tips, and ways to better yourself with regards to your creative photography or videography genre. So today, my name is Stephen Segal, and I am the host of today's show. Really excited to be here. I'm a content creator, and I'm so excited because there are phenomenal creatives that have joined me today, as well as I've got one in the hot seat right here, right next to me. So Hill, how are you today?
I'm doing good, Stephen. Thanks for calling me.
Looking awesome. I love that smile. He's got $1 million smile there. Hey?
Thank you.
Tell me, where did your photography interest and obviously videography interest start, and what type of photography and videography do you do? Just so introduce yourself.
See, I actually started my videography, or rather photography, as early as the D60.
Wow.
That was like, I believe, the first digital camera that Nikon came out with. And I was really young, so definitely no knowledge of photography. But then I loved the entire idea because, digital introduced me to the idea of not being limited by a film. You could kind of just keep rolling with the memory cards and stuff like that. And fast forward to now, so I've had my journey from D8 to the 5300 to a 750 and now a 7.2. So yes, I mean, so now it has turned into more of a hybrid shooter, and I've moved into the zone of being a commercial photographer and a videographer, where I shoot a lot of products and food videos, primarily with my Nikon gear now.
That is unbelievable. So now tell me, what made you first jump into photography? Like, what was that key defining moment where you were like, I like this, I have to do this?
See, I come from a background which is slightly close to photography.
Okay.
So my dad was a creative director, so I've always been assisting him for different projects here and there, meeting with a lot of photographers. And I always loved the process of how a concept was created and then materializing to the final image. And that is what actually piqued my interest into photography. And started my journey over there.
That is unbelievable. Really, I mean, to start it out and to have a creative family is really great.
Yeah,
too, obviously.
absolutely.
And tell me, when you're creating your content, and I've asked this, and these are questions that I obviously ask our creators, and if you're following us, please ask a question. We're going to try and answer those, and give us a like if you're enjoying this. What I've seen is the creatives, a lot of the time people think that us creatives go out there and we just take a photograph, it just happens. What is your creative mode or process before you go out and shoot? Do you have one, or do you just rock up and then you take your photographs?
Not actually. I mean, what I always try to tell a lot of content creators now is the entire process of photography or videography is actually about 70 to 80% in the planning stage, and then the 20% is in the execution. So you have an entire process of scripting, storyboarding, creating your scripts, creating a short list, and that is when you finalize what are you going to shoot. And that is what actually ensures your results come out the way you want them to be. Yes, candid shots are good, but then since I'm talking about food and products, it has to be very well planned and executed to ensure that it falls straight.
No, absolutely. And I think that's where a lot of creators fall short, is that they do go out and they get to the planning stage and like, this isn't really the creative side.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's part of the creative
Absolutely,
processes when you're going through
absolutely.
it. And I just love that it's, ladies and gents, those of you that are watching, there is a lot that goes into creating that, capturing that image, and obviously getting that perfect shot.
True,
So
absolutely.
give me a little bit of a background. You're going to take a picture now. What do you do? What are your first steps with regards to getting to that picture? And then I'm going to talk to you about post-processing.
Okay. See, primarily, it always starts from the concept. So it always starts at a drawing board. So let's say I'm shooting a product. I have to create a concept for the product first. So come up with the concept, then ideate how the concept is going to be materialized. So as I said, talking about the storyboard. So what is the materials, what are the props, what will go into the story that we want to say. So let's say if you're shooting a product which needs to be shot in a hotel kind of an environment. So the story goes in that. If it's outdoor, the story goes over there. So depending on, it's primarily the story driven, and then comes the creative process of how you put the product in that story.
Absolutely love it. Very few people talk about that side of things, and I love that you brought up that it's a story. You're telling a story.
Absolutely.
Even though it's a product, there's a story behind it. There's obviously a motive of emotive connection with regards to it that makes the people actually connect with the product a whole lot better.
True, absolutely.
And so I just want to see, because also I think a lot of people, there are creatives out there, but there's more technical photographers sometimes, and they battle to come up with that creative. So where do you get your inspiration from when you've got this product? How do you suddenly come up with the idea?
Uh, See, I gave you a hint of a creative background that I have.
Yes.
On top of that, I love following a lot of creatives online. So one of them is you, and then quite a few other creatives which are there. Because the idea is not that you want to copy them. It's more about the inspiration. That you look at the content and you're like, wow, then this person has created this in such a beautiful way. So you don't want to replicate it, but you do want to draw inspiration from it to direct your thoughts in that direction.
Love that. I love that. And again, everyone's really worried that they might be copying someone. But again, you need to be able to start off that journey and then create from there. I absolutely love it. And your work, again, is phenomenal. Those of you that are out there, just give them your IG, if you don't mind, your Instagram handle.
My Instagram is hashtag VCM Clicks. So that's where you'll find all my work in terms of photo content, video content, food, products, bit of lifestyle and everything.
It's absolutely beautiful. Ladies and gents, you have to go and check out. And if some of you are wondering where we are right now, we're on the Nikon stand here at Exposure Expo in Sharjah, where if you are available this weekend and you're interested in learning some great and massive tips with regards to photography and videography, come check out Nikon. It's the Nikon stand. You'll see we've got workshops happening. We've got 2 photo booths, a film booth. So everything with regards to photo and film, and to be able to connect with the Nikon cameras and lenses. So come check us out over here. And we're obviously going to be doing these podcasts. Got amazing creatives like we have Segal here. So moving on from that, so you've got your creative process. You've set it up. You've set up the shot. Now what happens is post-production. Tell me about post-production. How much work do you put into that?
To be very honest, I actually put very little amount of work in post-production. 2 major reasons for that. One is the Nikon structure itself, because I truly believe, like I've used a lot of other brands as well. The biggest reason why I stick to Nikon for my food and product videos primarily is because Nikon's color science is, I would say, it's almost perfect. So the accuracy is so good that all you got to do is, once you have shot the product, whether it's a photo or a video, in post you don't have to do too much in terms of your color corrections or grades. Grading is a different thing altogether, but specifically for food and products, you need the colors to be absolutely accurate, and that is where I feel Nikon really shines, because the accuracy of the colors that it shows is on point. You don't have to kind of worry, I shot an orange bottle, now it looks pink, or now it looks red. You don't have to worry about something like that.
It's so true, though. It's absolutely true. Yeah. I love the people that are more technical and with regards to your color science. Again, as a business, you want to get as close to the most perfect image or video, raw video, as possible, that on post-producing, it's going to be a lot quicker. And I mean, time is money, ladies and gents. Time is the thing that we forget about. We spend so much time. And we tend to, a lot of what I've noticed, especially with a lot of the young people coming in, is it's like, I'll fix it in post.
True.
And I love it that, again, you're another one advocate with regards to get it right in camera,
Absolutely.
do it right from the word go, and then post-produce from there. But talking about, obviously, the Nikon side of things and the color reproduction, have you shot on the Z8 yet?
I have. I haven't had a lot of experience with Z8,
yeah.
But I've been shooting with it for the last week or so.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I love the dynamic range that it offers now.
It's phenomenal.
And the best part which I like is, the Nikon offers you these LUTs which are there on the Nikon download website itself.
Yeah.
So no matter what you shoot, the first step is you just put that conversion LUT and your footage is there. So it's like 90% work is already done over there. The rest of 10% is your color grading and layering and stuff like that on top. And the colors just come out accurate. It's on point. So that is the best part which I like about it so far. But as I experience more, I'm going to be trying more styles with that, definitely.
Oh no, let me tell you, I was also been shooting lately with the Z8 and Z8, and absolutely love the RAW that's coming out of it. I don't know if you tested the in-log.
Yeah, absolutely.
In RAW.
I tried that.
12-bit. I mean, 12-bit in camera. No external monitors needed or anything like
absolutely.
that. It's absolutely phenomenal. Again, a lot of clients and a lot of people that buy the camera end up getting confused because they're like, it's 8.3K.
Yes, absolutely.
And you're getting all that file. So what ends up happening is you need to make sure you know what you're doing, especially with the memory cards you're using and whatever you're going. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So loving the Z8, it's like my go-to camera.
Absolutely, yeah.
Tell me, let's get in, since we're talking about gear, tell me a little bit more about you're shooting now currently Z7 II, am I right?
Correct, correct.
What lenses do you have that you work with mainly?
So I primarily have three favorite lenses when it comes to products and food. One of them being the Nifty 50, because
Okay.
that gives you the best point of view towards any product or anything like that. Second, I generally use a 1.824.
Okay.
So that gives me a really wide scene to capture,
Yeah.
especially when I'm talking about groups and stuff like that.
Love that lens.
And then third is my go-to is a 105.
Okay.
105 macro,
Oh.
because the amount of details it captures specifically for products or the food, you can literally feel the texture in it.
Yeah, I know.
And that's the best part about
Oh.
using that lens.
Those three are beautiful. I also like
Right.
24, especially when I'm shooting video. It's such a
Yeah.
nice focal length.
Yeah,
50, obviously, that's our eyesight, and then 105. Oh, the 105 is still so beautiful.
Absolutely.
What is your go-to lens? If you had to choose one lens to go to, what would it be?
It's very tough actually, but I think I would still go for a 105. I mean, as far as the distance is concerned, fine. I'll have to be very far away from the subject
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get the entire thing in the frame.
Yeah.
But that is one lens which I can just not do without, because as I said, the clarity,
Yeah.
the details it captures,
Yeah.
and the compression. So
Oh,
all those
yeah.
three things are that's my go-to for any scenario.
Absolutely love it. That 105. And you know what? I also use the 105 not only for macro, but as well for portraiture.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's beautiful, like you were saying. It's
beautiful.
absolutely stunning. A lot of you out there that are using lenses, note that certain lenses are obviously stereotypical for one style of photography, like the 105 macro. We all think it's only for macro,
Yeah,
but
it's strange.
when you try and use it for portraiture as well, absolutely stunning.
Yeah, absolutely.
So definitely agree with you with that. Tell me then, okay, so that's your absolutes. Z7 II, loving it, am I right?
Absolutely. I mean, the details.
Yeah,
I mean, no matter what is the size of the image that you take,
yeah.
you blow it up and it is still pin sharp. So that
Yeah.
is the best part. That is the reason why I actually picked up the Z7
Yeah.
II, because I come from a photography background.
Yeah, yeah.
So my primary idea was shooting commercial footage or commercial photos for that.
Yeah, yeah.
And Z7 II is beyond excellent when it comes to capturing details on that.
Okay.
In terms of video, I would go for the Z8, yes.
Okay, yeah, okay.
There's no questions about that. But then, yes, as far as photography is concerned, and a pretty good video output as well.
Yeah.
The 7 II works really well.
Beautifully, yeah.
Right.
Tell me, so from a setup, so now you've got your camera, you've got your lenses. What other gear do you use to be able to create that perfect image? Are you big on lighting, on other effects?
Lighting, yes, absolutely. So I mostly work with a 3 to 4 light setup
Okay.
in order to kind of illuminate the entire scene as best as possible.
Okay.
Because I always tell everyone that I talk about that try to get your ISOs around 100 to 200 by overpowering with the light, so that then you can capture the full dynamic range of the entire shot that you're shooting.
Okay.
And along with that, mostly for product videos, I actually shoot, I would say 70 to 80% handheld.
Okay.
Because
Wow.
again, because 7 to 6, 8,
Yeah.
all of them have got great stabilization.
Yeah, they're 5-axis.
So
Yeah.
most of the shots, it works. Some shots you would require a slider or a turntable.
Yeah.
That's for a few of them. But then most of the pans, your curves or seat curves, handheld works fine.
It's unreal. I love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you can do that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because I remember when I was shooting earlier with the 7500.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's an old camera.
Yeah.
But then those lenses were not. They were still good to make a static video maybe.
Yeah.
But then they don't offer that stabilization, so it's really difficult. And in post you can't do much
Oh yeah. No.
as far as the stabilization
Agree.
is concerned.
Agreed.
So, yeah, I mean, the in-body stabilization is really good for, I would say, I believe almost all the Zs after Z6,
Yeah.
the stabilization is really good.
Yes,
It works wonders.
me and the Z6 II is also, I love that camera.
Yeah.
I've always got that in the bag.
Yeah.
So sorry, getting back into, with regards to that is, so with your, now we're moving on. So lighting, you use constant lighting or flash lighting?
Constant.
Is
I
it?
mean,
You
for videos, yes.
Yeah, constant obviously,
Constant
sorry,
by
but the
default.
stills?
For stills, I actually like using the strobes.
Okay, yeah.
Primarily because, I don't know, I could be wrong, but personally I feel strobes give you a slight edge
Yeah.
in your photos, which
Okay.
kind of I'm not able to have the same result from a continuous light.
Okay.
And then I love to capture a lot of shots in motion.
Okay.
So if somebody looks at my work, I have a lot of those crazy splashes and flying stuff
Okay,
here
yes.
and there.
Love that,
So
yeah.
to capture something like that, you have to have speed lights.
Agreed.
You can't do it with continuous. So
Totally agree
it
with
doesn't
you.
work that way.
Have you ever used photo stacking? Do you ever do photo
Yes,
stacking?
a lot in fact.
Dive
In
into a
fact,
little bit of, for those of you that don't know what photo stacking is, just explain it if that's okay.
So most of the time when you're taking shots, especially with the 105, you're taking really close shots. 105 has a very narrow depth of field when you're going close. So now what happens is if you're shooting, you will get only maybe 1/10 of the product in focus. So what you got to do is you got to take a series of maybe 10, 15, 20, maybe more, depending on the size of the product. Take those images on different focal lengths, all of them, put them all together in a post process, and that is when you get those beautiful crisp looking images edge to edge. Because in fact that's an interesting question, because a lot of people ask me like, no, we shot the same settings but I didn't get it as crisp as yours. And I say, yeah, because you shot one photo, I've shot 20. So that's where the focus stacking actually is really helpful for
love
products
it.
specifically.
No, well, that's the nice thing. And obviously, with the new Nikons, they've got photo stacking built in, so you can literally set up on your camera and do the photo stacking in there, which
Yeah,
I
in
love.
fact, come to think of that, I actually did not know that earlier.
Okay, yeah.
So after about 3 months of using the Z7 II, I
Yeah.
actually stumbled upon it by
Setting,
chance going
yeah.
through the menu, and I was like, I didn't know that. I was like triggering one and one. This is awesome. Like just choose one shot, 1 to 30 shots, one increment or two increment, and that's it. You don't have to
Done.
touch it after that, and that's perfect.
That's unreal. I like the technology. You know, the thing that a lot of us don't always do is dive into actually what Nikon's doing, and they're just really leading the way with regards to obviously technology and giving back. I mean, that's a nice thing, and we're sharing information as much as possible. So then, tell me, with again, we've gone into your gear and setup and post production. Do you ever do composite work? So like
Yeah,
placing. Do you do
a lot actually.
Is it? Okay.
Because as I said, if you when you look at my page, you'll find a lot of shots where we have multiple elements of food flying in the air. Like there was a recent shot which I did, in which I think we had put in about 15 dishes, and all of them was in the air. So after the shoot, everything was just all over on the floor. But then that is where the composition comes in place,
Yeah.
because especially when you're doing flying shots or you want to
Yeah.
have food flying or product splashes or water splashes, you have to have like 10 different shots which come into the play, and then in post you kind of blend them together to form that final shot that you're looking for.
Love it. So before we end off, I want to ask you tips for our viewers out there. Give them the tips on how to, I'm going to ask you this, how to start out in the industry, how to stay motivated with regards to it, and how to take it to the next level.
That's an interesting question. Especially, I'll take it first from the motivation point of
Yes.
view, because this industry is extremely competitive. I mean, you would know that, and there are millions of people offering prizes right from the bottom all the way to the top. So it's very easy to get swayed into one direction, that okay, maybe I'll charge so less or I'll charge so much more, and then when you don't get the kind of remuneration that you're looking for, you feel demotivated about it. So for me personally, the only thing that works towards motivation is my own passion. So if you love photography or videography, all you got to do is just keep practicing, keep upping your game, and eventually you'll meet the level that people might expect you or where you want to be. So that is where the motivation part kind of is taken care of. In terms of the commercial side, I would say just don't be shy to get out there. I remember my initial projects that I got, I wasn't very confident in would I be able to execute it, especially when you get your first project and you're like, okay, should I not? But then I realized that every time I would take on a project, I'm really grateful for the people who helped me initially to give the work initially itself. But then when you take up on those projects initially, it's a learning curve. You have to have enough work to reach to that point. So don't just say no, that that's not my genre, or I would not be able to do that. Just keep the ball rolling, and you should be good over there.
Love it. Thank you so much for your advice. I really
Most
appreciate it. You're an inspiration to a lot of us. And thanks for giving back on your time to be able to do these talks
Sure.
and that kind of thing.
Thanks a lot.
Really have been an honor meeting you and working with you. I know you before. So Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Stephen.
Awesome, awesome. So just to sum up, those of you that are out there busy watching, please excuse. With Suhail, he's an amazing product and food videographer, photographer. You must see his work. It's absolutely phenomenal. We're going to obviously put the link up there for you guys. Just in summary of what he was saying is that, again, passion is what's going to drive you forward. You have to have that passion for something. Never say give up. Never say die with regards to it. There are going to be challenges. Push through. Make sure you push through. Again, get creative. Put your ideas down and go and activate them. Don't let it go down. Then his favorite camera the camera he's busy shooting with right now, Z6 II with the 105 is his go-to lens. He has got a 24mm as well that he likes. And what was the other one that you liked?
Sorry.
24mm, and which other lens you had?
105, 105 and 50.
And the 50mm. So those are his lenses of choice, but his go-to would be the 105. It's absolutely beautiful lens. So in summary, that's what we find from obviously Suhail. If you want to come and check out, you want to learn more, Nikon's right here at the Exposure Expo for the whole duration of the expo, right here in Sharjah. Come and visit, come and check it out. We've got photo, film, we've got various speakers from all around the world here. Make sure you turn by. If not, check out our podcast. We're loving this. Hopefully you're enjoying it. That is it from us here by Frame. Hope you learned something great. Hope you learned something new. Hopefully we inspired you. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We'll chat to you again soon.
Done. Done.